Hi, in this video I want to talk about guides and higher beings, channeling and all that kind of stuff. It's an avenue I've been down, a lot of us have, and a lot of the spiritual community is still kind of geared toward, these galactic beings or angels or whatever else it might be. And then it's frustrating. So you kind of get pushed in that direction. And it disempowers you. You're looking outside yourself. You're looking to higher beings for knowledge, for guidance. As if you can't do it yourself. If you can't find these things, you're not enough. So you have to look for others. And then there can be manipulation with these beings. You might not be getting in touch with who you think you are. Some will mess for you just for shits and giggles. And then we can get some. Like I've had conversations with the Pleiadians, Pleiadian collectives, and I don't feel there's any malintent there. They can be awfully patronising. It's like they know what's best, and they only give you somewhat, some of the story, not all of it, because they don't think you're ready for that yet. But that just keeps you in a state of, well, I'm waiting for more. I'm waiting for more. Instead of telling you, we're only giving you part of this story and you need to find the rest and it needs to be your discovery. They don't tell you that, they just don't give it to you. And that just keeps you sort of watching and following and hoping that at some point they'll give you more. It's like, scraps on the table. Nah, I don't like it. I don't think it's constructive. So then a lot of people will kind of realise that these beings are just as likely to be manipulated as we are, as Jill and Stephen down the street. It's like, just because they're on a different level in consciousness or evolution or different planets, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily almighty and everything is right and truthful and good. There's flaws at every level. There's manipulation at every level. So then we kind of, there's a lot of distrust for that whole community. What's a community? I don't know. You know what I mean? The whole collective of beings, of all of them, all ETs in general. And there is some validity in that. But I think, so we get pushed to disempower ourselves, and then we get pushed the other way to not trust them at all, and can only trust ourselves, but then we cut off everything, all of it, so we don't have access to any of the potentially bigger information that we could get from them. So it swings around a bunch. You go from one to the other and neither really is good. So my approach to ETs, from someone who's kind of been there and done the channeling thing and done the outer body experience stuff, and I've done verbal channeling as well. But that's weird. It's very, very weird. It's a voice and it's not yours. And you think, oh, my throat's getting dry, and your arm just goes and gets you a drink and you're like, cheers. It's weird. It's very weird. I didn't think it was bad. I don't think I was channeling anyone that had any malintent. But it didn't tick the box I was looking for, it wasn't what I wanted. So what I would say if you're trying to find your way and you're interested in kind of ETs, is to find yourself first. Find your own heart's power. Start to recognize that. Start to utilize that. Start to feel what it tells you, what your resonance is, whether something feels good or bad or right or wrong. Really explore and come into your own power first. Don't start with channeling. Don't follow ET channelers and rely on that. Just really work on you. You work on you, your healing, your expansion, your growth, your empowerment. Then when you feel like you're in a place, you got your ducks in a line, like you can figure this stuff out. You're really getting in the flow. You can feel your heart. You can feel right from wrong, and in that feeling, not knowing, not like thinking with the brain and figuring out, but just the instant feeling, just yeah or nah, So follow that. Do your own work. Do you first, and then when you think you're in a strong position, you've figured out a lot of your trauma and stuff and your insecurities, and you're not going to get taken for a ride, then if you want to, then maybe dip back into it and see because you'll get a much stronger feel for whether this is the right direction for you, whether it is even something you need or not, whether there's any manipulation, whether it's good or bad information. Just empower and equip yourself first with your own heart's power and what you can do, and make sure that you're going into that as just something interesting. See where it goes. Not with reliance, not with dependence, not with the need, for anyone's help. It's just, it could be interesting. It could be a bonus. It could be something to find out there. And you approach them on a level playing field. Do you know what I mean? Instead of putting them on a pedestal. So yeah, that would be because I stepped away from it all. I stepped away from it all and I came back to me. I'm like, do you know what? There's a lot of iffy stuff going on there, and I'm not feeling great about that. Some of it, it's like the channeling I was doing, I was comfortable with, but wasn't getting what I wanted. And watching other channelers, a lot of it was just, like my spidey sense was going off. Like, hang on, no, I'm not sure about this. So trust that. You do you first. And then if you want to dip back in, which I've started doing a little bit lately, kind of just having conversations with people. I was in the sauna the other day and it's just, didn't have much else to do. I wanted to push myself and kind of, build my tolerance, and I hadn't been to the sauna for about a year. So I was like, oh, I really needed this. We only have one person at a time, so there's no one else to talk to there. So yeah, I just thought, okay, well, I'll just send myself out, see where I go, see who I find. And there was someone there, and we had a nice conversation. It was interesting, and it was not something that I was dependent on or like awed by, but it was just a nice chap. Basically, I would approach ETs like that. It's just a nice chap you meet in the street, kind of like, it could be something interesting. It could, bloom into a friendship, or it might be just a passing hi and off you go. So just see them on your level. Just approach them on your level and know that you're empowered first. Yeah. So you don't need them, but they're there if you want to have a go, if you want to just have a chat. So yeah, that would be that's kind of my take on the whole ETs issue. Just make sure you come to you first. You do you first. So maybe don't shut them out completely, but come to it when you're ready. When you know that they're just another being, just like you.